Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheryl Howard, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about long exposure and using a feature on your DSLR camera called bulb mode. And bulb mode is a feature that allows you to hold down the shutter as long as you like, anywhere from 1/500th of a second to several minutes. Most cameras you can set exposure to about 30 seconds without going into bulb mode. So the first thing we have to do is we actually have to find it on our camera. And what we would need to do is we need to set our camera to manual mode. And on most cameras it's the M. And then we need to find bulb. And so we need to dial down the shutter until we find the bulb. And there it is right there. And so once we dial it down and we find bulb, a couple of things we're going to need in order to get this right is we're going to need a shutter release button, and we're going to need a good tripod, a good steady tripod, because we want to avoid camera shake. Most of us can hold the shutter release for about 15 seconds maybe without really evident camera shake. But much beyond that, you're going to need a good tripod. So if you can't find where the bulb mode is on your camera, the best thing is to get your manual out, or you can Google it for your particular camera model. And then what you want to do next is decide what's going to be your subject. I personally like to do a lot of launches, night launches, make great long exposures. But depending on where you live, fireworks is a good subject. If you want to smooth out the water, that's another good subject. Let's see, what are some others? If you just want stillness, the streaks of light, thunderstorms, that's another good subject. You get the lightning strikes, bolts. So those are some good subjects. So again, long exposures, you can hold down the shutter release for anywhere from a few seconds to several minutes. But if you're going to, again, go longer than 10 to 15 seconds, you're going to need a tripod. So once you find your subject that you're going to want to shoot, not physically shoot, but shoot with your camera, your shutter release and your tripod, then you want to set up. And then the settings that I use is you want to turn your f-stop to about f100, f200 is good. And then dial down to your bulb setting, and then ISO 100. I found that those make really good settings. If you have, if it's not quite completely dark, you might want to use a really good neutral density filter. Self-timers for long exposures really don't work beyond a couple of seconds. So again, you're going to need that shutter release cable, either a wireless one or cabled one. So next time there's a thunderstorm rolling in, you might want to think about capturing some lightning strikes. So let's see if I can find the image that I took that was a long exposure. Let's see if I can bring it up. Okay, so this is one that I did a couple weeks ago. It was a night launch, and I did this right in my backyard. I had my tripod set up. I had my shutter release, and I did make a couple of mistakes on this. You can see whether it's kind of blown out in the bottom. So the settings that I use for this, I had my ISO at 320. I should have had it at 100. And another mistake is I had my f-stop at 5.6. Ideally, it should have been at f8 or f11. So I did make some adjustments in Lightroom. Thank you, Lightroom. And so I did some manipulations, which made it turn out a little bit better. But usually I try to keep my f-stop for long exposures around between f8 to f11. I found that those, for me personally, those make, that's a good setting for me. And the bulb setting, this one was about 2.5 to 3 minutes on this exposure. So we got a nice arc in the trail of the rocket. The only thing that the mistake I made was, the blown out. You can see where the rocket was launching. So the launch site is a good 20, 30 miles away from my house. But again, the long exposure night launches, no matter where you are in the state of Florida, you can really get a nice long exposure on those shots. So some other, you can try light painting. That makes a really nice long exposure subject. Shooting light trails as the traffic passes by at night. Also, full moon. That's another one. Get some stars in there, or just set up something in your house using a flashlight and a canister of noodles and shine the flashlight in there. So think outside of the box. Again, these are just some ideas that I'm thinking off the top of my head that you can do using bulb exposures. So find out where that feature is on your camera, give it a try, experiment, and happy shooting. Take care. And as always, I always appreciate you stopping by my YouTube channel. Give me a like. And again, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.